It is almost 3 o'clock on a Monday, and we have finally gotten underway down the Intra Coastal Waterway from Johns Island, Ross Marine, headed for the Chesapeake Bay. We're making about 7.5 miles an hour, and Jimmy Hooks is at the helm. This is our first drawbridge, the Wapo Bridge, still heading toward Charleston. This thing kicks on only when the batteries need charging. Just about an hour underway and going down the river. We're just getting Charleston in view now. Almost 4 o'clock, and we are now motoring right along the residential waterfront of Old Charleston. It's coming up on 4:30, and we have sailed across Charleston Bay. We are looking for the opening to the Intra Coastal Waterway. We've got one more bridge to open before we get all the way to Myrtle Beach. It's 10 minutes to 5, and at 5 o'clock the Ben Sawyer Bridge will open and let us through. This is the last bridge between here and Myrtle Beach, about 70 miles up the Intracoastal Waterway from where we are now. We're going to have to do a couple 360-degree swing arounds here to wait for the bridge to open. It's got another 10 minutes before they stop the traffic. Jimmy is having a wonderful time showing me the Intracoastal Waterway. .6:45 on the inland waterway, and we had to wait about an hour and a half for that last bridge to open. So we are going to sail as long as we can see the channel markers. So we've only come about 12 miles since we took off at 2:30 this afternoon. We have stopped for the evening at this first marina north of Charleston. Lots of fancy homes and fancy boats. And of course, a place to sit out on the deck and have a drink in the sunset. The moon is high overhead at 6:45 in the morning. It's starting to get light. And there's a spectacular sunrise on Tuesday morning. As soon as we get things all cleaned up on deck, we'll pull up the anchor and head north. We're moving along about 7 miles an hour, and there's all sorts of huge homes all along the west side of the Intracoastal Waterway, just as far as you can see. 11:30 in the morning, and most of the boats we see are going the other direction, headed south. We also share the waterway with shrimp boats.
Following us for a long time.
It's mid-afternoon, and we're making really good progress today. averaging about 7 miles an hour. The day has gone from sunny to cloudy with a little sprinkly rain, but the temperature's still warm. And the surroundings have gone from marsh grass to deep woods as we go up the Waccamaw River, still in South Carolina. All the trees are covered with Spanish moss here. We've seen lots of osprey nests today. But strangely enough, no ospreys. Well, it's Wednesday morning, almost 10 o'clock, and we've been underway since 7:30. We've passed Myrtle Beach and we're headed for Ocean Isle. By 6 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday, we have left Jimmy's house behind at Ocean Isle and come a couple more hours up and are passing through Holden Beach. Big fishing fleet here.
It's Thursday morning, and our original plans would have had us underway by now, heading for the Cape Fear River to hit it with the incoming tide. There's been a gale force wind blowing all night long, and it's still blowing, so we're going to wait and see what the weather does.
The trouble with trying to do a video diary of a trip up the Intra Coastal Waterway is that you really can only video during the calmer moments. Last night there was a gale blowing, this morning the wind was howling, and we started anyway. We managed to run aground and break free. The waves were running about 5 feet high, and we sailed right through it, but there was no opportunity to document any of that. Now it's calmed down again. We've just passed Carolina Beach, and we're on our calm way again.
It's a little after 6:30 on Friday, and we're at Surf City Beach on the backside, of course, because you don't see any surf. And we're going to try to get an early start this morning.
Throughout the day, every day, we see all sorts of ships going south. They all look out just like we're a little bit crazy headed north. One right after the other, all headed southbound.
Good, Alexandra?
That one's from Annapolis. Many of them have Florida listed as a home port. That one's from Newport, Rhode Island. And here's yet another one. That one's out of Delaware. They're leaving Swansboro astern just before noon on Friday, headed for Bogue Sound. City Bridge, just beyond the green marker, seems to be floating in the air. There's a horizon mirage on the water. It's 1:45 on Friday, and we are just now passing Sandy and Curtis's house. And the last bit of sunshine at 6:18. It's 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and I'm looking at a shipwreck over on the bank, and we are going through fog with the radar going. We have left the river part, and although this is called the Neuse River, it looks like open ocean. We cannot see any land in front of us. Travel this direction for a while around a little cape that's way up in front of the bow there, and then turn left up the sound. respite from the big waves as we pass through this channel. Goes through Goose Creek Island and then out into the Pamlico again. It's 1:45 and we're headed across the Pamlico Sound. It's late afternoon on Saturday and we have entered this long ditch fed by the Alligator River. Straight as an arrow toward the east for many miles. This is just labeled Cypress Swamp on the charts. And it's all wilderness. No houses, no roads, no nothing except wilderness. Once we pass this bridge ahead of us, it's about another 10 miles before we get out of the canal, and then we'll find a place to anchor. Since it's an hour until sunset, we'll be looking for an anchorage in the twilight after sunset. Standing watch over us as we go past is a beautiful bald eagle. Jimmy thinks he can talk eagle talk. The water here is brown, and StarLady is going to have a brown chin by the time she gets to Mobjack Bay. Way to continue the journey, but the engine quit and we did some repairs on some water hoses, started it up, and it quit again. So Towboat US is taking us to the next marina where we'll get it serviced. We are now crossing the ocean-like Alligator River, still being towed, and it's pretty choppy. Rock and roll. Well, Monday has come and almost gone, and here we are since yesterday at the Alligator River Marina. The water pump has been pulled, a new one is on order, and hopefully will arrive tomorrow.
It's Tuesday morning, just a little before 7 a.m. and we hope today that we will get a new water pump and be on our way again.
jib and we'll soon be on our way. It's Tuesday, the last day at Atlantic Yacht Basin. Got the problem with the roller furling jib all squared away, and we will soon be underway in the rain toward Mobjack Bay. Another delay in the day, about noon. We've been sitting here waiting for this bridge that's usually open to open. They lowered it right in front of a tugboat, frustrating the captain. And we've been sitting here probably 40 minutes. Finally, the engine has started to move. We'll be on our way again. I don't think we're going to get very far today. Norfolk, and we are headed down the Elizabeth River toward Chesapeake Bay. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. Wednesday morning, and after holding up all night at what we think is Dandy Point Marina, which is really not so dandy, the weather is getting actually wicked, and so we're going to leave the boat here and come back for it later. We are in the home stretch.